Wow, what a beautiful sight to see. Just woke up, came outside to get a breath of fresh air, and as I looked out at the lake, there was a black bear swimming across. Absolutely beautiful. I hope it showed up. I didn't have the biggest lens on my camera, so I couldn't zoom in that far, but with the incredible mist we have, like, it's really heavy this morning. You can't even see the island. That's usually just 100 or 200 feet off ours. Right over there, completely obscured. But just for a little while there's a break in the fog, and I could just make out the black bear swimming across. And we have a lot of black bear in this area, so they're not too rare to see. I've seen about 10 or 11 in the past couple months, but seeing them on the island or swimming across the lake is pretty rare. Usually I see them either on the road as I'm driving into town, or just more in mainland, usually on the lake. And that guy was a pretty big black bear as well. As far as black bear go, he was a decent size. Wow. Pretty cool, eh, Lando? Yeah. Gonna be picking up Peter today at the airport. And what a way to end my solo trip. Wow. Oh, that just split some kindling for me. That way. Then you're gonna get hit. Nope. Good boy. I think some of these pieces were cedar, because as I was splitting the wood here, I just got the most beautiful smell. The aroma in this whole area as I'm splitting this wood is just amazing. But it's kind of crazy that I'm splitting wood again to restock. Not just splitting wood because I obviously have to do a lot of that before winter, but to restock all the piles for inside the cabin and stuff, because I was not expecting to have to use this much wood at this time of year. But it's been a lot colder than most of the recent years, so I've been using a lot. I mean, today was literally, like, when I woke up, it was like 5 Celsius, which isn't that far from freezing, and it's a little bit early for that. I don't know if it's just that we had a pretty cool summer this year, that it feels like everything's moving a bit too fast, but definitely feels like it is. I mean, even some of the trees as you walk around are already changing color, and it just feels like it just turned summer for me. But yeah, so this pile here is gonna go inside. I got some hardwood that I'm leaving in larger chunks for the slow burn, and then I've been splitting lots of kindling pieces like this for the hot tub and for inside. And I think this amount here should fill up our 2 buckets inside, and then I'll definitely need to start splitting some more to refill the fire ring, the ring around the fire, and also the hot tub supply of wood. But later on Friday or this Saturday, I'm going to be heading down to my hometown to do my gun course, get my final gun license. And while I'm down there, I'm going to take a look at some wood options. A lot of our cousins and family have some nice timber on their properties, so might go harvest some from there. And then also there's just a lot of wood down there, so I might at least go scout it out, and then later this fall I'll probably do what we did that one year and take the big barge out and start loading firewood here, because there's definitely not enough, or at least I have not collected enough as of yet. So that's been kind of weighing on my mind, but it's not too big of a deal. We'll get it done. But before we use that barge, I will need to get it up and running again. It's been sitting there since last year, so I don't know what kind of condition it's in, but it is a giant metal barge, so there's nothing wrong with the boat, obviously. It's just the engine needs some maintenance, most likely. But yeah, this cold weather is just like unbelievable. The tips of my fingers are all red. It's kind of a cozy feeling at the same time, even though it's kind of sad to see summer over so fast. Like I've mentioned a few times on this channel, fall is my favorite season, so I'm already getting into that feeling. Just the smell of wood in this weather reminds me of when I was young at our house, back when we used to live in one spot and go to school and stuff. There was nothing better to me than coming home and hearing a chainsaw running in the woods. We would just hop off the school bus and then go running down and help our dad clear lumber, and I've always loved that smell. So that's what this kind of reminds me of, and it's quite a nostalgic feeling. Little fire loading technique. At least when I'm carrying kindling I do this, because when it's larger logs it doesn't work quite as well. But just to get a bit of extra reach, if you hold a stick up like this vertically in your hand, then it just gives you an extra wall. And then also if you kind of hold your arm like this, so then you can get more of a curve up your bicep, then you can load a lot more wood than you usually could, just because if you don't have this here, then you're curling your hand to make sure nothing falls, and then obviously the ring within your bicep to your palm is a lot smaller, so you can't carry quite as much. But this is just a nice little technique to carry as much kindling as possible. And just like that, you got a nice load of kindling. So at least inside, this little black firewood holder is what I generally use for kindling. And then the old wooden crate back there is where we use all the hardwood and stuff for the longer burns. And of course in winter, when we need more than that, outside on the porch we have a couple rows stacked, so we can just keep refilling without having to walk all the way around to the firewood shed. Alright, so generally when I'm restocking the wood inside the cabin and even on the outside, or when I'm scouting for new wood to harvest around the island, I'm always looking for birch bark as well, which can be found all over the ground. Like there's sheets and little pieces basically everywhere around birch trees. And it's always better to get it off the ground if possible, rather than off the tree, just so you don't cause any harm to it. But birch bark is an excellent fire starter. It's my preferred way to do it, since we have so many birch trees up here, rather than spending money on you know, like store-bought fire starters, or you know, just any other tinder. This is, in my opinion, the best option here in Canada. It's it's a very oily bark. Not to the touch, it just feels like dry paper, but as soon as you ignite it, it really burns, and it burns for a decent amount of time with a hot flame. So it's perfect for lighting fires, even in the rain. So that's why I like it so much. But birch trees are just such a amazing tree to have around your area. It's got so many different uses. One, for fire starting. A lot of the indigenous peoples here in Ontario and in all of Canada used birch bark for waterproofing their sleeping areas, and also for making canoes. Actually, they would layer birch bark with different like pine tar and different tars from trees, and it actually waterproof it enough to float, which is quite amazing. So, oh, and also you can drink birch water out of a couple months out of the year. If you just tap it like you would a maple tree and filter it with cheesecloth, you can drink it, and it's kind of a natural energy drink almost. You can definitely feel it once you've drank some, and it also has a lot of electrolytes, so it's good for staying hydrated. And you can even ferment it, and it becomes alcoholic. So yeah, birch trees are pretty special, and they're beautiful as well. So that was a long way of saying I'm collecting some birch bark, and I try and get as much as I can, and then I keep it in a little bucket beside the fireplace, and that's what I use to start my fires. I know. Alright guys, so the day has finally come, and I'm headed to the city to pick up Peter from the airport. He's been gone for about 2.5 months in Africa with the Expedition Overland team, filming a series. And yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen him, so I'm excited to pick him up and hang out and hopefully get up to some adventures as well. His plane probably lands within 30 or so minutes. And then, yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Good.
That was like 50 hours.
Watch.
Your face. Cool.
Awesome.
My bags are packed. Grab that carry-on. Carry-on, look at it.
Oh, boy.
Oh man. Back after, it's about 62 days now. Pretty crazy. The whole trip in Africa with the XO crew and all the guys we got to meet while being there was like nothing else. It was really amazing. Did I take a right here? Or?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, truly an unforgettable experience. Super happy to have done everything. Like always, it's a fast trip. Like when you're there, I didn't feel like time was even a thing. Felt like every day a week would go by, and we were just getting closer and closer to the end, and having so much fun together as friends and as a group. So it's not like I was there just wishing to be home, but now that I am home, it's good to be back. It's a bit of a rainy day. Try to get all my bags back to the cabin, get all cozy, see Lando again. Caroline just made like a blueberry pie, and there's still a bunch of it left, so I'm looking forward to getting home and eating some of that, relaxing for a minute. It's good to be back on the island. It's been a while, if you think about it, 2 months. I was gone in Africa with the Expedition Overland group. For those of you who don't know, I'm Peter Van Stralen from the Epic Family Road Trip. I'm Daniel's older brother. So anyone who's followed Epic Family Road Trip would know, but for those of you who just followed Dan, yeah, that's who I am. For the last 2 months I was with Expedition Overland in Africa. Expedition Overland is a film production company out of Bozeman, Montana. They specialize in overland travel. That's how we got connected with them, and that's why we're friends with them now, as we saw each other on, the online world. We saw that, Clay had been kind of seeing some of our videos. Clay and Rochelle, the founders of X Overland, had seen some of our work on Epic Family Road Trip, saw us kids years ago now when we were younger, and I don't know, we just got connected. We eventually went to Bozeman and worked with them, learned their way of doing things, and eventually started going on expeditions, which are film expeditions. We will do different series on travel, whether it's in Baja, Alaska, and around the world, as has been the case on the Nordic trip, which we did last year, and now the Africa trip, which I'm just now coming back from. They publish on their own YouTube, which is Expedition Overland, and they publish a lot of content on Instagram at XOverland, as well as on their own network, the Overlander Network, which is super cool. So they're a really amazing group of people. Clay and Rochelle Croft started this really cool company with the intention of creating movies in the overland world, which is a really unique thing. They're special for that reason. The way we end up documenting and filming things, and just the team camaraderie that you get when you put a bunch of people who live and work in this space and have all their own individual skills together for a couple of months, traveling somewhere, in a foreign country. Everyone's pushing themselves and having fun, exploring the unknown together. You get this really cool trip that comes out of it, and they do really well documenting that. And I was one of the cinematographers on that trip, so I was filming for that 2 months, and we shot a 10-part series, which will be coming out in the future, a few months from now, probably sometime after Christmas. I don't know exactly when, but there's a big post-production side to that, of collecting thousands upon thousands of gigabytes of footage, and they have a whole team of editors back in Montana, which will sift through that and create these awesome movies, true to the experience that we genuinely had all together while traveling through Africa. So I really look forward to that. I also I picked up a film camera while in Africa. It was an idea in my head, actually kind of inspired by Sean O'Connell from Walter Mitty. If anyone's seen the Secret Life of Walter Mitty movie, just this cool guy, shoots on film. And of all things, when we were in Africa, we had to pick up some camera stuff that we didn't have and we needed. So we just went to a shop in Johannesburg, and they had a Nikon FE2 film cam, shoots 35mm film photos, and I was able to get that with some Kodak 400 T-Max black and white, like negative film, and some Fujifilm 200 color film. And I shot 4 rolls, and each roll is 36 photos, which was fun. So took my time, got some cool photos while there as well, which I'll be posting, and Epic Family Road Trip will post. But yeah, so that'll just show a little bit of the experience. You can see a little bit of the team together through those photos, and look forward to when the episodes do start coming out on YouTube or on the Overlander Network in the future, which I can't wait for. Being a camera guy, you do your best while filming. We all did our best as a team, filming and just having fun, being in the moment. But as soon as you leave it, you're a little anxious about what you actually got on camera. So I look forward to whatever they end up making with the stuff we got. So that's a brief look into who X Overland is and just who I am. I'll be here with Dan now, just relaxing on the island. It was a good 61-day push going through Africa and in all the trucks. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else in the world than doing something like that, and I already look forward to hitting the road with my family when they get back, my mom and dad. They're currently traveling in the States, but Dan and I will get up to some stuff while we're here on the island, whether it's camping or just Dan doing his thing here on the island. I'll just be somewhere in the background doing my own thing. So it's good to be back, good to see Lando again, and
We have a lot of things to look forward over the coming weeks. I have nothing on my mind that I need to or want to get done specifically, but me and Dan always end up finding something to do, just impromptu camping or hiking or something random that always ends up really fun. So I look forward to doing that most, I guess.
Alrighty guys, before I head out to my hometown, I picked up Pete, and he's just kind of getting reacquainted with the island and unpacking and doing all that stuff. But in the meantime, we got to do a garbage run, pick up some packages, and then also I'm going to fill a few jerrys full of gas, just because most of our jerry cans have run out by now, and we just need a few just in case, for backup in case the batteries die if we have like a couple cloudy days or something, so we can keep running the generator. So, and also for our boat. But yeah, so I'm gonna fill up with gas and then head back. I have a few things to do. I still need a pack actually, and then I'll head down the road. It's about a 4-hour drive, and I mean, it's probably going to be about 4 or 5 when I leave, so I'll get there around 9 or 10 tonight, and then I have to wake up at 6 a.m. tomorrow for the gun course. So yeah, I'm going to be doing my gun course at the same time as my cousin Michael, and then hopefully on Sunday we can probably do some shooting and maybe have like a bonfire barbecue with some of my cousins, and maybe do some camping, but that'll be for next week. We'll see how it goes. For now, just getting gas. Well, that's a new decoration to the road. It's a pretty big fallen tree. If I had the electric chainsaw back here, I might try and move some of that, but sadly I don't. Luckily it's in a pretty open spot of the road, so as long as you're not, you know, going way over the speed limit, everyone should see it fine. So it's been, like I said in last video or the video before, it's been a very stormy, cold summer, and fallen trees like that have been a very common occurrence here. Alrighty guys, done the dump load, done the mail run, and it's such a beautiful day here in town. I think I might stop for some quick fish and chips. I have to hurry because, you know, I still have a long drive ahead of me, but I think I got time. There's always time for some Herbert's fish and chips. So just get a small one either to go or maybe sit by the pier depending on what time it is. Alright guys, so fish and chips finally came out. Sadly there was no seating inside, which isn't much of a surprise because this is a very popular place here, for good reason. It's delicious. But we've been going here since I can remember, since I was young, and way before they had this new building here. Back in the day when we first started coming here, it was just a little food truck, and then a few years ago they got their own building. But it's just been nostalgic place, you know, just so many memories here since I was very young, and it's been a while since I've had it, so I'm looking forward to it. So is their fish and chips, golden, lightly breaded, which is what I love. I don't like when fish and chips are too heavily breaded. I know it's not a good view because it's in a box, but it is so good. As you probably saw, the building is right next to the bay, and all of the fish is caught locally and fresh, usually the day before. Sometimes You can even get lucky and the fishing boat's actually in the dock and they're offloading the fresh produce right there, and you can't get any better than that. Well, that was delicious, but it is time to head on out. Always a pleasure coming here, and no matter how many times I've been here, it's still just such a fun experience, such a cool, neat little town. All right, so I'm making my way down to my cousin's place. Probably just gonna camp out of this thing in the back 40 for the first night. I'm gonna be arriving around 9 or 10 anyway, so I'll basically arrive, go to sleep, and then Lando, you're breathing right on the microphone. It's gonna be all loud. Nobody wants to hear you panting, okay? Okay, buddy. Cover the screen. Lynn, you're ruining my beauty shot. Move your head. All right. So, Lynn. All right. So, yeah. Oh, you put slobber all over the camera. I am heading to my cousin's house. And I'll talk to you guys a bit later on when I'm about halfway there. So, well, guys, I made it. It's pretty late, so I'm gonna get to bed and then wake up early for the gun course. See you tomorrow morning. Well, good morning, everybody. I'm about to get picked up by my cousin Mike. We're just gonna take his car, head over to the gun course. Starts at 7:30. It's about 6:50 right now, and then it goes until 5 p.m. So it's a pretty long course, but I'm excited for it. It'll be nice to finally get this. I've always wanted to. It just we've been moving around a lot, so I haven't really had the chance as of yet. So yeah. Whoa!
Oh, this is a good one. It's humongous.
Missed one.
Yeah.
Put it all like in front of you so it looks big.
Already is big.
Baby sticks.
This pork cup. Just tap in front.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, back now. Just had a nice little bonfire with all the guys. Really good to see everybody again, but it's about midnight now and I still got some work to do, so I'm just gonna finish all that up and then head to bed. But as always, thank you guys for watching. A special thank you to those of you who have subscribed to my Patreon channel. Your support really means a lot, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video, even though it was just kind of following me around as I did some things and caught up on my licenses. But yeah, stay tuned for some more adventures. I know the past couple videos have just been more day in the life stuff, but I've got some stuff planned, some stuff in the cooking pot that should come pretty soon, so stay tuned for that, and see you guys next week.